Nebraska always had a little bit of an identity where it was a team that would scrap with you.
Sure.
This isn't really a scrappy team.
I mean, the Doc Sadler,
Yeah.
Sadler, they were never very talented, but my gosh, they scrapped. They played defense.
Early break with Sip and Jake from 6 to 8 every weekday morning on 93.7 The Ticket. This is the Happy Hour.
You guys going to happy hour?
Live from the Koppel Chevrolet GMC studios in the heart of Lincoln, America.
Yeah, maybe I'll come for a couple.
Here are your hosts, Nick Sainert.
I want to know what it's like to commit a crime without having to spend time in jail.
And Enrique Alvarez Clary.
C is for chunk.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Good afternoon. Happy Wednesday. This is the Happy Hour 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. Bless you, Rico. Nick Sainert and Enrique Alvarez Clary are with you today. Hello, Rico.
Hello.
How's it going, man?
It's going good. That hurt my neck.
Yeah. Sorry, man.
It was a very intense sneeze.
You just went off here in a second.
I had to look, man. It had to get out.
As always, 402-464-5685, Honda of Lincoln Hotline, the Starter Heyman text line, both those open for you the entire hour. We have plenty of stuff to get to today. We'll talk a little bit today, especially. I'm in a baseball mood, Rico.
Baseball. Why? Baseball's not a thing.
Baseball is 30 days away for Nebraska. They sent out a graphic today, so I got excited. It was 50-some degrees yesterday, which feels like you should have been at Haymarket Park for a 1:15 first pitch against Columbia.
Yeah.
I mean, tell me I'm wrong. It's like Columbia or the Citadel.
Some weird school.
This year it's not
Campbell.
Campbell, UT Arlington, Northwestern State.
Just a gorgeous day for some lower Division I.
It's early
program to come to Nebraska.
Yeah, it's early March because it's lower Division I because that's the only programs that will come to Nebraska in early March.
Because as we know, San Diego State will not.
Yeah, and it'll be so the Friday game will be 55 degrees, and then the Saturday game will be 14. Feels like 14.
It'll get rained out.
Yeah, rained out.
Or snowed out or whatever.
So that's the kind of mood that I'm in right now, and it's January 19th.
But Major League Baseball is not alive.
It is not. Minor League Baseball is not.
MLB is still fake now because it's not a thing because there's no Major League Baseball.
It's unreal what's going on right now. Which we'll keep it we'll keep you guys updated as we go along. Like I said, 402-464-5685, Honda Lincoln Hotline, Starter Heyman text line, as well as the video stream, Facebook, Twitch, YouTube. Find us on Twitter, Nick_Sainer and at Radio Rico AC. Like I just mentioned, plenty of stuff to get to. We'll talk a little baseball here early on. Then me and Rico haven't been able to talk that much about the quarterback situation. Because when Chubba Purdy made his announcement, it was about 30 minutes after we got off the air. We haven't been able to talk about what we feel like that means for Nebraska going forward. And then in terms of that, I want to ask Erin Sorensen of Hail Varsity a couple questions as well, because she is back after a couple-week hiatus. She was out of town doing some stuff. So she is back today, and she'll continue coming on every Wednesday. We'll ask her stuff with football, ask her volleyball, because Kayla Caffey is for sure back for the spring.
Mm-hmm.
She's enrolled in classes, and she is applying for a waiver for the fall season.
Yay. Hopefully, maybe yay.
And so there you go. Kayla Caffey could be a huge addition for Husker volleyball. Not even addition, but just another player that sticks around for John Cook as they
be a big
try to go back to another national title at the end of next season.
You're losing, Lawrence Stivrins in the middle. Kelly Schwarzenbach went to Long Beach State.
Yep.
With Senor Hildebrand. So keeping at least one of your established middles would go a long way for this team next season.
So first off, I want to talk some minor league baseball, Rico, because I told you this a couple minutes ago. I read an article yesterday that the Sugar Land Skeeters,
great, like one of the best names in minor league baseball,
the AAA affiliate of
Houston,
the Astros,
yes,
are going to be now called the Sugarland Space Cowboys. Which one's
still
better?
Love it.
Which
one's better?
better?
Space Cowboys and Skeeters? Space Cowboys.
Space
Right?
Cowboys.
Minor League
better.
Baseball has the best logos and team names in any sport anywhere ever.
I think
That's just a fact.
I still
right?
would.
Am I
still
wrong?
would put mine as the Trash Pandas are my favorite.
Trash Pandas.
Best
are really good.
logo. Best logo. Some of the other
babies,
ones.
the babies or the whatever. That one was weird, but it was good. It worked.
Yeah, I'm going through all of them right now. Okay, so some of them.
The Montgomery-
Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp.
Ooh, I love
That's
that
a good
It's-
one.
That's great. The Montgomery Biscuits is a good one.
Yes. The Hartford Yard Goats.
The Yard Goats. Yes.
Then
There's
it's just the Storm Chasers.
there's the something Isotopes.
I'm trying to find.
I think it's
them.
somewhere in Colorado, possibly.
The tough thing is these aren't all.
No,
just
that might
AAA.
be Double A.
Albuquerque Isotopes.
Albuquerque Isotopes.
Wow. The Gwinnett Stripers.
There's like the 51ers. That's a team.
Yes,
They're the
that
aliens.
There's got to be better ones. Is it Bowie or Bowie? Bowie Bay Sox.
I think it's the Bowie
Bay Sox. Reno Aces, Jersey Shore Blue Claws,
Ooh.
Fresno Grizzlies.
There's one that's like not bluegills because it's like a spearfish, but it was blue something, I believe.
There's the Lakeland Flying Tigers.
Flying tigers?
That's a good one.
Tigers
Flying
that fly.
Tigers.
Wait a minute.
Lakeland, dude. We need to figure out.
Flying tigers
I need
are
to get.
dangerous.
So they are a low A affiliate. Low A.
Low A. I'm
so
fine with that.
Below
So
ball.
you get
no,
drafted.
No, just above rookie ball.
You get drafted, and they think you have more potential than somebody else later on in the rounds that they've drafted. They throw you low A.
Low
and you're a flying tiger.
Low A Southeast and the low A affiliate of the Detroit Tigers in Lakeland, Florida. They play their home games at Publix Field at Joker Marchant Stadium.
Let me be a flying tiger.
I need to get
Any more merch?
minor league merch. I have the Trash Panda shirt, which I'm a big fan of.
I want a Jacksonville Jumbo. I want
the Jumbo Shrimp.
I want like a hat from every minor league team.
I'm going through here. Okay, so I would take merch from the Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp, Buffalo Bison, Hartford Yard Goats has a cool logo.
100%. Montgomery Biscuits, just because they're biscuits.
What about the Erie Seawolves?
Yeah, I would go with the Erie Seawolves. I always end up on MLB
another Detroit Tiger.
When I end up
affiliate.
on the show, I end up on the Erie Seawolves a decent amount of the time.
Really?
Yeah.
I was on
I'm always getting drafted by the Tigers. I don't know what's going on.
What about a couple more here. Would you take merch from the Akron Rubber Ducks?
Oh, yes, 100%. Yes.
What about the Binghamton Rumble Ponies?
Yes, 100%.
Who are they?
The Binghamton Rumble Ponies. They are. Hold on, don't tell me. The Rumble Ponies.
Not a sentence you thought you would say today.
Who are they affiliated with? The White Sox. I don't know.
Nope, it's the Mets.
Dang
Nice
it.
try. So let's see. Is there any more that I'm missing here? Somebody on the text line, Eric says Carolina Mudcats.
Yes,
that's a good one actually. Midland Rockhouse, Frisco Rough Riders, Springfield Cardinals, Rome Braves. I hate when I'll put this out. They just go with the normal.
Very boring. The Yankees do that, and I hate it.
Well, I mean, like the Iowa Cubs,
Mm-hmm.
be better.
Yeah,
but I still love you.
The Omaha. They used to be the Omaha Royals, the Omaha Storm Chasers.
Yeah,
I remember when they first announced that. I hated it. I was like, why don't you just stick with the Royals?
Would you be interested in being a member of the Portland Sea Dogs or the New Hampshire Fisher Cats?
Ooh, I could be a Fisher cat. A cat that fishes. Would you rather be a cat that fishes or a flying tiger?
Flying tiger. Absolutely. Absolutely a flying tiger. All right, that's enough of that. Okay. So
anyways,
we could go on and on. We could go on.
The Skeeters have changed their name.
Last question. Should the Salt Dogs change their name?
No. That's fine. It's original.
We're getting mad at teams because their names are original.
No, we're not. We're getting mad because they're
Iowa Cubs.
Unoriginal.
Maybe that's a good point. Yeah,
we love original names. Salt Dogs. It's better than just the dog. Isn't like they play like the Chicago Dogs?
Yes. Brian on the text line says the Everett Aqua Sox. Ooh, I didn't see that one.
Aquasock.
I did not see that one in
Yeah,
this list.
The Lee Valley Iron Pigs.
That's a good one.
That's a great
I just need to
one.
look up triple. See, guys, this
Well,
is
it's
much more
AAA and AA.
AAA minor league baseball teams.
Rocky Mountain Vibes? What?
I hope these are real. I hope.
Vibes.
Oh, okay. So,
Just out here vibing, man.
so for the Houston Astros, their AA team is named Corpus Christi Hooks.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. Okay, so I'm quickly going through.
Their
around
logo's
these.
pretty cool because it's, Corpus Christi, the 2 C's, but they're hooks. They're little fishes.
Oh, that is cool then. New York Yankees. They are the Rail Riders.
Yeah, it's that.
Rail Riders, Patriots, Renegades are their next 3.
Yeah, it's pretty dumb.
Toledo Mud Hens,
Ooh,
not bad.
I do like
Dude, the
Mudhens.
The Tigers might have the best.
The Flying Tigers.
The Tigers might have the best
Farm
AAA
system name.
Yeah, they have the Toledo Mudheads, Erie Seawolves, West Michigan Whitecaps, and Lakeland Flying Tigers.
Wow.
That's not bad at all.
Wow. The Detroit Tigers spent all their money on marketing firms on getting really cool names and none of it on players.
You're right. Yikes.
Is that too far? I'm
Yeah.
sorry to all the Detroit Tiger fans out there. Not really.
So, sidebar, did you see Carlos Correa signed with the agent that Corey Seager, Scott Boras, I believe is his name?
Everybody signs with Scott Boris.
But he's the one that negotiated that Corey Seager deal with
Yeah.
Texas.
no,
So
everybody in
takes,
baseball,
that takes Chicago out of any shot to land Carlos Correa.
all the big names in baseball sign with Scott Boris. The man is the highest paid agent in the world.
What's Scott Boris's net worth?
I had that was a question that I asked a couple like last week or something. It was one of my questions of the day. Not his net worth, just how much he
whiz.
makes in a year. What's his net worth?
$450 million.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yep. He's negotiating contracts, or like all of his contracts combined for his players, not what he makes, but what they make is like $4 billion.
Holy
something like that.
crap. That
Like,
is unreal.
His players are making a boatload of money. And I think he only does baseball.
That's unbelievable. Okay, the Richmond Flying Squirrels is also a good one.
Oh yes.
Richmond Flying Squirrels. And that's pretty much it. I mean, we said the Blue Claws, the Fighting Phils.
Yeah, Brian says the Aqua Sox are the high A team for the Mariners. Yeah,
Yeah.
the Aqua Sox seems like a Mariners team name.
Absolutely. I mean, the Cubs. This is the Cubs. Iowa Cubs, Tennessee Smokies, South Bend Cubs, Myrtle Beach Pelicans.
Myrtle Beach Pelicans.
Say something other than a bird.
I like Pelicans. Look, if you're gonna go with a bird, go with a weird bird like a pelican.
Like a flying tiger.
That's not a bird. Go with like a toucan. Go with a macaw.
Nah, man.
Don't go with a hawk.
Then you gotta
or
have
an
your logo.
eagle.
Then you gotta have that logo be just a colorful bird.
Heck yeah, you do. You know what?
We
You know
got-
how many different color combinations you can throw on that uniform because you have a toucan as your mascot, bro. The possibilities are endless.
Okay, so
You can immediately get Fruit Loops to sponsor your team.
So the Minnesota Twins, they have the St. Paul Saints, the Wichita Wind Surge.
Wind surge.
That's interesting. The Cedar Rapids Colonels. Fun fact, great place to watch a baseball game. Cedar Rapids Colonels.
Oh, I think it said Colonels.
No,
I was like,
Colonels.
excuse me.
And then the Fort Myers Mighty Muscles. That's a good one.
Oh, are those like the clam? Like they have like a clam
Yeah.
for a logo? Yeah.
That's a
Mighty
great
Muscles.
one. All right, that's enough of that. There was some little bit of football news that just came out a couple minutes ago. Courtesy of Parker Gabriel at the Lincoln Journal-Star. It sounds like
PG.
former TCU running back AJ Allen is going to take an official visit to Lincoln this weekend, not afternoon, this weekend. So AJ Allen, 5'11", 190-pound running back, says that he's traveling to Nebraska's campus on Thursday. Here's what Parker says in his article. You can find it at thelincolnjournalstar.com. It says Allen is an interesting prospect, not only because of his high school production, but also because he was verbally committed to play for new Husker running backs coach Brian Applewhite at TCU before head coach Gary Patterson was fired there in the midst of the fall. I would also like to point out Gary Patterson at Texas, weird.
Very weird.
Did you hear about that?
No.
He is now working for Steve Sarkisian at Texas.
Dislike.
In high school, A.J. Allen put up numbers at Neville High, rushing for more than 2,000 yards and 34 touchdowns. Nebraska just offered Allen a scholarship on January 5th, a little more than a week before head coach Scott Frost finalized Applewhite's hire.
You know, the last time Nebraska hired a coach and they went after a person that was committed to their previous school was DeColdest Crawford. And now look, he's on campus.
So things to get excited about. 402-464-5685. Aaron Sorensen of Hail Varsity will join us here in a few moments.
There's also some transfer news.
Oh, let's hear it.
Not good transfer news. Nebraska missed out on the Miami defensive tackle, Nesta Jade Silvera. He is going to Arizona State.
Yeah, so Nebraska's still looking for that. He was from Miami, I believe. He was transferring away from Miami. But unfortunately, still looking for that guy to fill Damian Daniels' spot. Now with Damian Daniels and DeAndre Thomas. One interesting thing, if Nebraska does get the commitment of A.J. Allen after he visits this weekend, then that puts them at 8 scholarship running backs. If you're including DeAndre Jackson.
That is a decent amount of running backs.
I would say this about DeAndre Jackson. He's planning to come, so we can count him in there. We'll see what happens.
Look, I mean, if we're going to be honest, I don't, at least to me, if Nebraska gets this commitment, DeAndre Jackson may be on the outside looking in due to having to stay at Texas A&M for this next semester.
Yeah, and I don't think that's a hot take or a bold prediction or anything like that. I think it's just the way it is. And
I don't know if that's true. They could still honor the commitment and decide to keep him and bring him into the fold. But I would believe that, that would put you at 8 scholarship running backs. That is a lot of bodies.
That would put you at 93 overall.
Yeah, that's a lot of bodies in the room fighting for, one ball.
Unless they're telling their guys they're going to do a committee approach again, which, okay.
I mean, it could also, it's competition. It's true open competition. Whoever wins the job wins the job. And all these guys obviously think that they're the best at what they're doing. So they're going to go out there. They're going to put together a fight and try to win the job and be the number 1 running back for Nebraska. So, if you don't shy away from competition, this would be the room for you.
What position is going to be the most interesting position battle this spring? Because I don't think it's quarterback. Like, if you want to say the quarterback for number 2, like number 2 on the quarterback depth chart, then I would be okay with that.
So you mean the most, like the one I'm most interested in, or the one that I believe might be the most important battle that's going on?
I think the one you're most interested in, because the most important would be quarterback, right?
I would say offensive line, just all of those spots.
Well, what's interesting, something that I keep thinking
that
about.
That would be the most important, but to me, the most interesting one would probably be wide receiver.
Yeah, but you kind of know who those guys are. It's just whether or not they're out there.
You don't know who they are. Mickey Joseph said it's open. He said it's a clean slate for everybody. And out of all the coaches right now, outside of the defensive coaches who have, done what they've done, and, you have no reason to really doubt what they're doing right now. Out of all the offensive coaches, Mickey Joseph is the one that I am believing in the most right now. So when he says, when he says it's going to be truly open and everybody is starting from square one, square zero, whatever you want to call it, I 100% believe him. So I'm interested in who gets that number 1 spot. Who are the first 3 receivers out there?
I think one thing that I keep getting I keep thinking about, is that this staff this year doesn't have time to try things. And that's what's going to be so fascinating come fall. How quick are they to pull the trigger on pulling guys? How quick are they to try to reshuffle things if they're not working? Because they don't have the security blanket of time this year. Even if the previously agreed upon metrics that he and Scott Frost and Trev Alberts have talked about and agreed upon, even if that's, say, 4 wins, 5 wins, I don't care how the schedule looks. Just having that idea in the back of your mind is going to make you a little more jittery. Maybe that's a good word for that. quick to pull the trigger.
Mhm.
And by pull the trigger, I mean reshuffle. They don't have 5 games at the beginning of the season this year to shuffle and find the best group for the offensive line.
Mhm.
They don't have that luxury at running back either. They don't have that luxury of trying to wait 7 weeks, 6 weeks for the running back game to start developing.
For somebody to pull ahead and take the reins during the season.
It's not even that. Like, even if they go by the committee approach, they don't have 4 weeks for the committee to approach to finally work.
Mhm.
And even if they get the wins early on in the season against North Dakota and against Northwestern, you still have Oklahoma. Like, even if you win ugly in those games, yes, they're wins, but you can't have false confidence just because it worked against North Dakota. You can't expect it to work against a Big Ten West opponent. You need to progress and develop and keep on building every single week.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what makes this whole thing so interesting for me personally, is that there's going to be so many things behind the scenes that you don't honestly think about in year 2 of a head coaching gig or with a staff, is because how quick is the man at the top, Scott Frost, going to be on trying to figure out what works best? Because once again, there's that luxury of, oh, we can just wait and see. And we have time. Time is on our side. You don't have that this year. And it's wild to think about.
You got to win this year, and you got to win early, because, I mean, I hate talking about how easy or how hard the schedule is, but the last 4 games of the season are going to be a bear.
Yeah.
So you need to, if you're going to win a certain amount of games, if that is your goal, you need to win early. You don't, as you just said, you don't have the benefit of letting things progress during the season and letting guys kind of get comfortable in those spots. Like, you need to be ready to go game 1, snap 1. You need to be ready. You need to be set. And those guys need to be prepared for a battle day in and day out.
Big key right there. You have to be prepared. And that starts right now when they're doing conditioning. That starts in spring ball and putting a good product out there in fall camp.
And it's not
and every guy buying in,
yeah,
and embracing their role, understanding their role, that mutual understanding. Both sides understand, and there's clear communication that both sides know their role.
Mm-hmm. And it's not the problem with, shuffling the lineups or anything, because as Vershawn and Jay say all the time, when they were playing, it was a daily battle in practice to keep your spot. So that's what these players and these coaches need to understand is, if you're the starter day 1, doesn't mean you're going to be the starter week 3.
Yeah.
You've got to be ready to get that spot and then defend it, keep it, earn it every single day. Because this year, you're going to need fighters. You're going to need warriors to go out there and win these games.
It's really going to be interesting to see. We'll ask Erin Sorensen of Hail Varsity that. She's going to join us next here. You're listening to the Happy Hour on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Follow Nick and Enrique on Twitter at Nick_Sainert and at Radio Rico AC. More of Happy Hour is next on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hi, this is Kurt, your shop manager at A1 Automotive here in downtown Lincoln. My promise to you is this: you won't find another automotive repair facility that genuinely cares about you and your vehicle. Our service is outstanding and our customer service is better. Please give me a call for all your automotive repair questions and needs. Call me at 402-477-4660. We were built on small town values, and that shows in how we treat others. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
Freddy's Frozen Custard and Steak Burgers is all about the good and creating more of it. More drive-through celebrations, more weekend traditions, more family dinners and lunches, more car picnics and road trips, more desserts, maybe more second desserts, more celebrating being together as much as we can. There's always room for more good and more Freddy's. Keep the good going with a taste that brings you back.
Hi, welcome to Big Chain Bar and Grill. Can I get you a drink? Which game were you hoping to see? Doesn't matter. I don't know what channel the game's on anyway. Are you ready to order? Okay, here's your check. Come back and see us again, okay?
What?
Hey, welcome back into Upside.
Slow down and enjoy the game at the Upside Bar and Lounge. Comfortable seating, plenty of screens, a great food and drink menu, and no one trying to shove you out the door. Come in, hang out, and take it all in at the Upside Bar and Lounge, open daily just east of 27th and Pine Lake.
Hi, this is Sean Callahan with Koppel Chevrolet GMC. New vehicle production has been increasing, but the lots will not be filling up anytime soon. In fact, most vehicles are being pre-sold and are leaving the same week as they arrive. If you want your new Chevrolet or GMC, this is a great time to build a vehicle and place an order. Our sales team will work right with you to build the exact vehicle you want. At Koppel, we appreciate your business and sell vehicles at a fair price. So come check us out or visit us online at koppelcars.com.
Casey's General Store is giving you the chance at winning 2 free tickets to a Nebraska home basketball game this season. Stop by any Casey's location in Lincoln throughout basketball season, enter your name into the registration box, and you'll have a chance to win 2 tickets to an upcoming Nebraska basketball game. Every drawing will occur at least 24 hours before the game that has its selected winner. So make sure to get to any Casey's in Lincoln today for your chance at 2 free tickets for Nebraska men's basketball games.
At first, I was really nervous and intimidated to buy a ring. I wasn't sure what I was getting into.
My experience at Starter Heyman was very easy. I felt like I walked out of Starter Heyman with the ring that was going to make her go wow and say yes.
I love my ring. It is so beautiful.
I absolutely love my ring. I get compliments on it all the time. I always tell them Starter Heyman.
Yeah, we would definitely recommend Sutter Heyman.
Yeah, it was great.
We're definitely coming back. Sure. Sutter Heyman Jewelers, Lincoln and Grand Island. SutterHeyman.com.
Tune in to the Teammates Mentoring Hour each Wednesday from 6 to 7 p.m. on 93.7 The Ticket. Hear stories from the program started by Tom and Nancy Osborne and how it's changed mentors and mentees' lives and how you can be involved. The Teammates Mentoring Hour, Wednesday nights from 6 to 7 o'clock on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
At Buffalo Wings and Rings, they've crafted a new league of superior chicken sandwiches. Meet the Ringers. It's premium, house-made, beer-battered, fried chicken served Buffalo, Korean, or MVP style. Head to Buffalo Wings and Rings Lincoln and raise a glass to superior chicken. 2 locations at 68th and O and at 40th and Old Cheney. Buffalo Wings and Rings.
You hear that? That's the sound of extremely tender and delicious beef from certified Piedmontese. Prime grade tenderness with a fraction of the fat and calories of normal beef. It's Nebraska-raised product and the official beef of Nebraska Athletics. Change the way you buy beef today at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese, just north of 84th and Havelock, or at cpmercado.com.
Hi, this is Sean Callahan with Koppel Chevrolet GMC. New vehicle production has been increasing, but the lots will not be filling up anytime soon. In fact, most vehicles are being pre-sold and are leaving the same week as they arrive. If you want your new Chevrolet or GMC, this is a great time to build a vehicle and place an order. Our sales team will work right with you to build the exact vehicle you want. At Koppel, we appreciate your business and sell vehicles at a fair price. So come check us out or visit us online at koppelcars.com.
You're listening to the Happy Hour with Nick Sainert and Enrique Alvarez Clary on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Back here on the Happy Hour, 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. Feel free to interact with the show the entire hour. 402-464-5685, the Honda of Lincoln hotline, the Starter Heyman text line, both those open for you. I will say this, today we're going to give away a care basket courtesy of Beatrice Bakery, so head over to theticketfm.com, send in some nominations if you have any. Just a fun thing and nice thing that we like to do here at the Ticket to make sure we're putting smiles on people's faces in the community. All right, we're back to our original ways. On Wednesdays, we are joined by Aaron Sorensen of Hail Varsity here
Aaron
on the
Day
Honda
is back.
Honda of Lincoln hotline. Aaron, how's it going?
Good. It's good to be back, although it's very cold in Nebraska at this point. It's like winter decided to show up.
Yeah, where were you? Where did you get to go?
We went to the Dominican Republic.
Wow.
So we were on a beach for about 10 days. So I'm very shell shocked.
Yeah. Did you get tan?
I did, but no one will ever know because we're all wearing 87 layers.
That's a good point.
Just wanted to show off my Dominican Republic tan, but no, I got to wear 3 coats.
Exactly.
So, all right, Aaron Sorensen of Hail Varsity joins us here after taking a little hiatus, a much-deserved one. So, Chubba Purdy is in. He's committed to the Huskers. What does this mean for next season? I mean, is there a chance that Chuba competes for the starting spot, or do we feel like that's Casey Thompson's?
I think at this point, it seems like the job is really going to be, and this is so, it sounds so silly to say this because we can't forget that Nebraska also has Logan Smothers and Heinrich Harburg on this roster as well. So it's not like, anything is guaranteed for anyone. But I feel like if you're Nebraska and you're bringing Casey Thompson in, you feel really confident in what you're bringing in with him. I mean, that there's a reason that they went after someone like Casey Thompson. There's a reason that Scott Frost, we talked about that all through December, was looking for that transfer quarterback. So it's not that Chuba couldn't compete for the starting job, and I would expect him to, because I would expect anyone in that room to compete. But it really feels like the favorite at this point right now is Casey Thompson. And that is like very much like saying that without any spring football, anything else. But it just feels like you don't go get someone like that if they're not going to be sort of in that leading spot, at least heading into spring football.
This is kind of just a surface level question, but I guess, do we expect attrition in the quarterback room after spring ball rather than, here in the next week or so?
Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked. I think at this point, if you're, say, Logan Smothers, it probably doesn't hurt to stick around and, unless you feel confident. I think the hardest part right now for anyone who'd be looking into the transfer portal is that there are just so many players in the transfer portal. So you have to balance that. So if you're someone like Logan and maybe you're looking at Casey Thompson coming in and you're maybe concerned that you're not going to have a starting role after all, what you have to weigh is, if you go into the transfer portal right now, is somebody going to be looking for your style? Are they going to be looking for you right now? Or would you be better suited going through spring football, competing, one, in a sense, like it's quote unquote getting more tape, putting more out there to show people what you can do. And then if, it doesn't seem like the situation is what you want, come into spring football, put your name in the portal then. I think that's really the question people have to ask is like, when is the transfer portal going to more successfully benefit you if you're going to go that path? And so right now, based on the way that the portal looks, I would probably stay put and compete. But again, I'm not in their shoes, so it's like really easy for me to say that. But that would be, I think, what someone should do is see it through and compete. But if it doesn't end up being what you want, then maybe you look at that transfer portal again.
Aaron, some people, and by some people, I mean myself as well, have been wondering where the transfer offensive linemen are for this squad, because I'm not saying that they don't have the talent on their roster, but with the way that the offensive line struggled last season and the lack of changes that we saw during the season, it would lead you to believe that they didn't have much trust, or that they didn't believe that anybody else on that offensive or in that offensive line room was really prepared to play at the Division I level quite yet.
Yeah, it's funny you say that when you said not just you, but a lot of people. You're basically saying like every time we post about any kind of commitment from a transfer, it pretty much is like, that's great. What about offensive line?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think a little bit. It's definitely, we knew this a little bit when you're making a change at a coaching spot, which bringing in Donovan Raiola, you're going to have to allow him to establish that room and really see what he has, work with what he's got. He was coming from the NFL, which is not like when you're talking about like someone like Mickey Joseph comes to Nebraska with these like pre-established relationships in the college ranks that have already like, he knew, I want this player, I want them to come here. I can start targeting them now and start recruiting them. Whereas for someone like Donovan Raiola, he's kind of got to get like his feet wet a little bit. Like you're kind of like, all right, let's get into this recruiting and let's get into this and figure it out. So I think a little bit of that is just the situation of, it's just the nature of one, you have a new coach at that particular position, but it's one that a lot of eyeballs were on. I don't know. Names have come and gone. Names have surfaced. I kind of just trust Greg Smith to tell me like who is out there. But like, yeah, I mean, it's definitely one where I can understand the the kind of like concern that people have. But to answer your question, where are they? Good question. question.
So I feel like everybody's kind of just in the same boat on that one, and is just kind of left to see what we have with come fall, I suppose. So we're talking to Aaron Sorensen of Hail Varsity here on the Happy Hour. So in the secondary, it's kind of fascinating for me because they have a lot of unproven talent, and there's a lot of guys in those rooms. I think they have 7 scholarship safeties and 8 guys on scholarship at cornerback. Bringing a couple guys, Tommy Hill, Deshaun Singleton, Javier Morton the other day as well, in from the transfer portal. How would you characterize those 2 rooms, basically the secondary as one?
Yeah, it's funny because since the end of the season, my feelings on this defense have kind of gone all over the place because there are times where like I feel more confident about certain areas. Like I know I said, I feel confident about some of the players that are going to be able to step up on the defensive line, like Casey Rogers, Ty Robinson. But then, you have the same concern where people are like, well, what if the depth doesn't pan out and all? So then I start to think about, okay, what about these other spots? So like, I will say when it comes to the secondary, it seems like Nebraska is doing what it needs to do to fill holes. But like a lot of this defense, no matter what spot you look at, it feels like it went from this last fall where it was so much strength and depth. You knew what you were getting in so many of these players. It's now very much like, it feels very uncertain, and not in an uncertain way of like there's talent. Like when you look at a lot of these players that have committed and the talent that they're trying to bring in, it's just unknown what it's going to look like for Nebraska. And so, this will be a true test of Eric Shenander as a defensive coordinator. We sang his praises all this last fall. So then the question becomes, can he help lead this defense in 2022 when there's a lot more unknowns? And like honestly, all of these spots, no matter who they bring in, it just kind of now feels like a big question mark until you actually see it in action.
We're speaking to Aaron Sorensen of Hail Varsity here. Aaron, non-football question time. Kayla Caffey, she is back for the spring for sure. And then I believe they're applying for a waiver in the fall. How big is that for Nebraska?
It's huge. I mean, even the thing with the waiver systems and everything with the NCAA is like a whole thing. I know it's like entirely based on if it's approved, and trying to determine what the NCAA will and will not do in those situations is it's just not worth anyone's time trying to figure it out, unless you're like a coach and the person actually, I'm saying for all of us, it's not worth like trying to figure out. But the fact that she wants to come back and to have her leadership and have that desire to still be there, because she is just absolute fire. Like when you watch her in the national championship game too, she is somebody that like she's just hard to replicate because she's so strong. Like her strengths are just, they give you chills when you see her like spike a ball right in the middle. I mean, it's just, she's great. And so to have that just to have her back would be huge. To have her from a leadership perspective back would be huge. You think about the fact that Nicklin Hames is going to return. There's some key pieces where, I mean, when you're talking about just the leadership that they can bring to these younger players as they're developing, it's really exciting. So again, who knows what the NCAA will do and if they'll allow it. I'm going to lean on the side of I feel like she'll get it, because especially with that COVID year, I think there's a lot more leniency that's going to be taking place. I mean, famous last words, but she would be a huge addition if she's able to play for one more season.
Okay, Aaron, I hate to go back to football, but I just thought of one that I want to make sure I ask you, because this thought came up today when in the first segment when Rico and I were talking about it. But how much patience, or I guess room for letting things play out this season does the staff have? And in terms of that, I mean, let's say offensive line, for example, they throw in a group out there, it doesn't work. How quick will Scott Frost pull the trigger on plugging some new guys in this season?
I think it entirely depends on how much he trusts and puts like the thing that I think has sort of been an interesting dynamic is how Frost and his assistants have worked in previous years. We know that he had his, a lot of things were his decisions. The offensive coordinator, for instance, was very much like the decisions were ultimately Scott's at the end of the day. That's one thing that, Trev Alberts and Scott Frost said would be different heading into this year. Mark Whipple is supposed to be the offensive coordinator. So I think it really is going to depend on how much trust is in the assistants and the coordinators to make those decisions, and if they feel they want to make changes. And that's hard to know until you see it in action. And so I think Scott tends to lean more on wanting to maybe see how things go. We know that from how he sort of handled the quarterback spot for a few years. He definitely puts faith in people, and it doesn't seem like he's necessarily as quick to make changes, but maybe that is different now if he's sort of passing the reins to somebody else. Maybe you see shifts more quickly. It'll be interesting to sort of watch that, because this is now something I'm like thinking out loud.
Mm-hmm.
You did see some shifts on the defensive side where like that is Shenander's area, and like, okay, this we're going to make this move. We're going to put this person here. We're going to rotate people around. The offense was always a little bit different, because I think, that's where Frost definitely was spending more of his time. So the question then becomes, does he take a step back and allow those assistants to really truly evaluate and make those changes if they want to? We'll see. So I really think it depends on what ends up happening with this new offensive staff.
Yeah, it's going to be something definitely to watch as time goes along. All right, Aaron, appreciate the time as always. It's good to have you back. We'll talk to you next Wednesday.
Of course. And hey, like that last question, I'm going to be thinking about that.
Yeah, it's
because that is a great question.
It's fascinating because like the luxury of time is not on their side this year. So it's wild to think about how things behind the scenes are going to change this season compared to the previous years.
Yeah, and you start to wonder if there's like any that feeling of franticness at any point, if that changes things. So it definitely is going to be an interesting 2022. So that's a great question. I'm going to be thinking about it for a while.
Well, we'll follow up. We'll have the same conversation next week. Appreciate it, Aaron.
Thank you.
That is Erin Sorensen of Hail Varsity. Appreciate her spending some time with us. All right, send in your text 402-464-5685. We'll get to them. There's one I want to address after the break. We'll also have Nick's trivia. Call now, $15 to the Upside Bar and Lounge. We'll do that next. Reminder, go to theticketfm.com, nominate somebody to win a care basket courtesy of our good friends at Beatrice Bakery. We'll do all that next on the Happy Hour.
Download our app by searching 93.7 The Ticket in your app store to stay in touch and listen all day long wherever you are. More of the Happy Hour is next on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
At Buffalo Wings and Rings, they've crafted a new league of superior chicken sandwiches. Meet the Ringers. It's premium, house-made, beer-battered, fried chicken served buffalo, Korean, or MVP style. Head to Buffalo Wings and Rings Lincoln and raise a glass to superior chicken. 2 locations at 68th and O and at 40th and Old Cheney. Buffalo Wings and Rings.
Casey's General Store is giving you the chance at winning 2 free tickets to a Nebraska home basketball game this season. Stop by any Casey's location in Lincoln throughout basketball season, enter your name into the registration box, and you'll have a chance to win 2 tickets to an upcoming Nebraska basketball game. Every drawing will occur at least 24 hours before the game that has its selected winner. So make sure to get to any Casey's in Lincoln today for your chance at 2 free tickets for Nebraska men's basketball games.
You want to feel important. You want to be a part of something bigger, something that matters and can help change things. You want to feel like you belong. We know. We felt that way too, and that's why we did something about it. We aren't just Army National Guard soldiers. We are normal people just like you. But our part-time service in the Army National Guard means we get to be more. When our communities are in need, we get the chance to stand up and do something about it. We get to serve in our own region and help the people we call neighbors. Whether they are in the mountains of New Mexico, the plains of Nebraska and Kansas, the ranches of Oklahoma and Texas, the farmlands of Missouri and Arkansas, or the bayous of Louisiana, we are here for our hometowns. And together, we can make a difference. Take on your legacy. Visit NationalGuard.com to find out more.
Sponsored by the Nebraska Army National Guard. Aired by the Nebraska Broadcasters Association at this station.
Hi, welcome to Big Chain Bar and Grill. Can I get you a drink? Which game were you hoping to see? Doesn't matter. I don't know what channel the game's on anyway. Are you ready to order? Okay, here's your check. Come back and see us again, okay?
What?
Hey, welcome back into Upside.
Slow down and enjoy the game at the Upside Bar and Lounge. Comfortable seating, plenty of screens, a great food and drink menu, and no one trying to shove you out the door. Come in, hang out, and take it all in at the Upside Bar and Lounge, open daily just east of 27th and Pine Lake.
Listening to this Allstate commercial about savings might be the hardest thing about getting those savings. Save for simply becoming an Allstate customer. Save more for adding DriveWise. And save even more for driving safely. Visit allstate.com or contact your local agent for a quote today. Allstate. Minimum effort, maximum reward.
Not available in every state. New customer savings based on early signing discount. Drive-bys is an optional feature. Savings vary based on how you buy. Subject to terms and conditions. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Smoothbrook, Illinois.
You knew the risks when you decided to drive drunk. There could be a crash. People could get hurt or killed. But that didn't stop you, did it? You knew you could get arrested. You could incur huge legal expenses, and you could possibly even lose your job. You were well aware of the consequences of driving drunk. But one thing's for sure. You were wrong when you said it was no big deal. Drive sober or get pulled over. This message brought to you by NHTSA.
Tune in to the Teammates Mentoring Hour each Wednesday from 6 to 7 p.m. on 93.7 The Ticket. Hear stories from the program started by Tom and Nancy Osborne and how it's changed mentors and mentees' lives and how you can be involved. The Teammates Mentoring Hour, Wednesday nights from 6 to 7 o'clock on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Freddy's Frozen Custard and Steak Burgers is all about the good and creating more of it. More drive-through celebrations, more weekend traditions, more family dinners and lunches, more car picnics and road trips, more desserts, maybe more second desserts, more celebrating being together as much as we can. There's always room for more good and more Freddy's. Keep the good going with a taste that brings you back.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by Security First Bank, a relationship you can count on.
Partly to mostly cloudy and much colder today. A high of around 18. North winds will gust over 30 at times. Heading into tonight, partly cloudy, a low down to 0. Another bitterly cold day on the way for our Thursday. Partly cloudy skies with a high of around 17. I'm meteorologist Tim Wright for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
In every office, there's two types of people. There are those who bring in bagels and those who eat the bagels that someone else brought in. Everybody likes the first person. Be that first person. Weekday mornings at 7:30, you have a chance to win a business box of bagels from Bagels & Joe. All you have to do is shut up, Sipple. 2 questions for you, 2 for Sip. Win, and the bagels are yours. Lose, well, you don't want to lose.
You lost Monday, you lost Wednesday, you're a loser.
Shut up, Sipple. Weekday mornings at 7:30, brought to you by Bagels & Joe. You're listening to The Happy Hour with Nick Sainert and Enrique Alvarez Clary on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back into the Happy Hour, 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. Couple minutes here. We'll run up against the hour, but we'll be all good here. 402-464-5685, the Honda of Lincoln hotline, the Starter Heyman text line, both those open for you all hour long, and it'll continue to stay open as the water cooler begins here in a short amount of time. But first, before we get to Nick's trivia, we want to give away some care baskets courtesy of Beatrice Bakery. And if you guys haven't heard, we're doing a new show here on the Ticket on part of Ticket Weeknights on Wednesday evenings from 6 to 7 p.m., the Teammates Mentoring Hour. It's really, really cool opportunity. The Ticket, us here are very happy and excited to be a part of it. And so there's going to be a couple mentors coming in tonight to be on the show from 6 to 7 p.m. Russ Ewing, Nola Derby Bennett, and Julie Latimer. We're going to give away three care baskets, courtesy of our good friends at Beatrice Bakery, to Russ, Nola, and Julie. All these 3 mentors, they say know teammates really well, so they're going to be on the show tonight. And it's going to be fun to continue this partnership and learn more about how we can get involved in the community as well. So thanks again to Beatrice Bakery. Thanks again to everybody at the Teammates Mentoring Program of Lincoln. And make sure you check out the Teammates Mentoring Hour tonight from 6 to 7 p.m. right here on the ticket.
Also, if you yourself are interested in being a mentor or mentoring, just head on over to teammates.org and sign up for that.
Yes, absolutely. 402-464-5685. Call now. $15 to the Upside Bar and Lounge. Nick's Trivia. I need to know what state Chubba Purdy is from. Simple.
What state did he go to high school
in?
Yep.
Just need to know that right now. So call now, 402-464-5685. And this will work out perfectly, or tune into a text that we got from an unnamed texter that says, please stop handing the quarterback job to transfers. How about we let them earn it? It's disrespectful to Smothers. I want to address that after we take this phone call, because it's a fine line with transfers and transfer quarterbacks.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're efforting the name of the contestant here, and we will be good to go.
How
in a moment.
How do you determine the job being handed to the quarterback that transfers in? Because
there's this thought that Casey Thompson's going to be the starter.
Yeah, but that's just between fans and us. Like,
yes.
That has nothing to do with
they're saying please to us,
so
to have a microphone in front of us to stop handing the job.
I ain't handed nothing.
All right, we have James on the hotline. James, how's it going today? Good. All right, James, I need to know what state Chubba Purdy's from.
Arizona.
That is correct. From Chandler, Arizona. Congratulations, James. You have won $15 to the Upside Bar and Lounge. Hang on tight. Bach will get your information. We'll be good to go there. Chandler, Arizona, where Chubba Purdy is from.
There we go.
To Florida State. Almost said Iowa State, where his brother is at. And yes, and now to Nebraska, making his way to Lincoln. All right, let's talk about this. We have a couple minutes left in the show. Let's talk about this text here real quickly. The tough thing about transfers with the quarterback position especially, you don't bring in a guy unless he's the starter, unless he's expected to be the starter.
Mm-hmm. Unless it's
unless it's a guy like Chubba Purdy who's very young.
Yeah, like a Chubba Purdy situation where they, maybe they redshirted or with the COVID year and they have multiple years remaining. Like, you're not really going to hand them the job. But if it's a person who's been proven to be able to do it at a high level, like Casey Thompson has, I don't really know if it's handing them the job as much as the job was pretty much theirs for the taking if they wanted it.
That's an interesting way to look at it, is that it was wide open before Casey Thompson got here.
Yeah. And I understand what you're saying. It's disrespectful to Logan Smothers. He was here. He's worked multiple years for it. He started the final game of the season. But at the same time, Logan Smothers has one start under his belt. Casey Thompson has 10, again, in a Power 5 conference for a blue blood team in Texas. So him taking this job over Logan Smothers isn't really, I don't know. Like, you still want them to fight for it, and you still want, Logan to battle for, the starting job, even if he ends up being the backup and what have you. But at the same time, you're not going out of your way to bring in an established starter only to have them back somebody up who was already on your roster.
Well, an interesting way to look at this, and I don't know the answer to this question, so I'll ask you guys, listeners out there, and feel free. We have about a minute left, so feel free to chime into the show here in the last moments. But whose fault is it that Logan's not ready to be the starter? Or that whose fault is it that this coach feels like Logan's not ready to be the starter? I don't know the answer. And Rico, I don't want to speak for yourself, but I would assume that you don't know the answer either.
Oh, I got no idea. But also, this isn't my job to hand to anybody. This is just my opinion, is that Casey Thompson is going to be the starter because, as I said, he's established in it and what have you. So I don't have the job to hand to him, but I believe that he's going to be the starter.
One last thing to note, there was some, I believe, COVID problems or sickness within the Husker women's basketball team. It was announced today that their game against Rutgers is postponed tomorrow night. So no Husker women's basketball game against Rutgers tomorrow. They were out, Jazz Shelley and a couple assistants the other night for some health and safety protocols as well. We're out. Talk to you guys tomorrow.
Adios.
At first, I was really nervous and intimidated to buy a ring.